Hey guys, how's it going? My name's Lois and welcome back to Skybees. In the last episode, we were working on blood magic. And yeah, we've been trying to get through most of blood magic, most of the quests, which if I actually grab the quest book, I have a lot of stuff in my inventory. You'll see that we've completed most of blood magic. There's only like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quests left. Basically just getting a tier 4 blood altar, getting the blood orb and the slate, and that's pretty much it. So between episodes I was working on this. I've got everything set up for the next tier of blood altar. We're just missing the capstones, which are bloodstone bricks or something like that. Blood bricks or I don't even know what they're called, but we don't have them yet because we don't have access to them. In order to get access to them, we need to do more stuff with the Tartaric gems, and we're going to finish this up today before moving on, and I think we're actually going to do some work with bees. Now, first things first, I need to improve my storage because, oh my gosh, this is so annoying. It fills up so quickly. And I cleaned it out a couple of times, and it's still, there's so much stuff coming in, which is really good, but also really bad. So let's just jump right into it. And first thing we need to do is make a common Tartaric gem, which requires an immune slate, a diamond, a block of gold, a lesser gem, and a bunch of will. So presumably, take that out. We can put this stuff in, and that will make the common Tartaric gem. Now, unfortunately, it's completely empty. And that's not good because we need the Sanguine Reverter, which requires 350 will. This only goes up to 256, so we need more will. And I'm not sure if you can ever convert these. What if we just put this in here with that? No. Like I don't believe you can revert things. So we're gonna have to fill it back up. And we're also going to grab 2 runes. Because I have just enough stuff to make 2 runes of capacity. We just need some stone. And yeah, we'll get this going. So 1 and 2. And then we can presumably have a little bit more storage in here. We had 10,000. We now have 14,000. Now, unfortunately, I just don't have the iron currently to make a bunch of this stuff. But we'll get there. And yeah, filling this up with will is going to take some time. So let's step away from blood magic for just a moment. I'm actually going to turn this off. And we'll kill everything here and see how much we get. We're already at 50. We need 350, I do believe, for this thing. Let's see, 350. It only drains 30 will. So once you fill up your Tartaric gems, it's not too bad. It's just, you gotta fill them up first. Let's go sleep. And then what I want to work on is the apiaries. Now, we looked last time, and apiaries are really expensive, on the nether stars specifically. And I was a little confused of how they're going to work. So what it says in the on the apiary is that it is 9 unique bees. So that means in here we have we should have 16 bees? Question mark. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so we have 5 different types of bees, and there should be about 4 of each in there. So there's 20 bees in there. However, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 unique bees. 2 blaze bees are not unique. So we're going to have multiple apiaries eventually because we can. We can 100% do that. But each of these, we might even kind of, things like this where we have metal A, metal B, we might combine them. I kind of did a lot of my planning for the beehives and not the apiaries because I kind of forgot about the unique part. But the other thing that's going to be a little bit of a problem is when we get to the tier 3 apiaries, it stops outputting honeycomb, like individual honeycombs. It starts giving us honeycomb blocks, which is cool, but our system's not set up for that. So one thing that we need to do is we need to 100% get an ender honeycomb block, and we're going to put a new filter, and I believe it is green. And then we're going to need to do the same for these guys and these guys. But of course, the honeycomb blocks are not going to go into anything else. So we're going to need 2 filters, item stack, and this will be cyan. And item stack, honeycomb block, cyan. But there is a problem, specifically these 2. So what we're going to need to do, and I believe we can grab our drawer key. We're going to fix this problem, at least partially, right now, because we can store both of these. There's no reason why we can't. So the question is, if I break this, and I break, and I place this one, alright, it's immediately locked, which is good. That's exactly what I want. And what we can do is we can put honeycomb block, and then RGB, and RGB honeycombs in there. And then I can also, whoops, take out both of these and put them in here. And now we should have, I can't put that one in there yet, but now we should be able to store both of these, and we're going to have less, but we'll have a ton of these honeycombs. I just need to get this below 1020, whatever, 1024 I believe. And then I should be able to take that out, put that in, and store even more. So I will transfer all that stuff later. Not too urgent, but that is also going to help because we need the honeycomb blocks to make the apiaries. So I guess let's see. Let's go ahead and tell the system to make another crafter. It's gonna need a casing, which is steel plate. I never did hook this up completely, did I? So we're gonna need some steel. We're gonna need some iron, quartz enriched, and a piece of stone. Also, I can throw these will on the floor and pick them up. Absorb that. And yeah, basically, I'm going to make another crafter for the sole purpose of kind of getting things set up to make all of the apiary stuff. And I'm just going to put that in a single crafter so that I can very easily kind of deal with that. I don't want to have to do too much work, but we can put these in here. I don't know why it forgot about the thing, but whatever. That is kind of finicky, but we can throw that in there. We can make a crafter that should not take too long. And we can start setting up all of the recipes. So if we want a tier 1 apiary, we can do this, and it doesn't matter what kind. We're going to need a tier 4, tier 3, tier 2, and tier 1, and then a beehive. So that puts us to the tier 1 apiary. We can go ahead and tell it to make the tier 2 as well. And then if we have the crafter, we need to make the crafting thing here soon. There we go. Then we can do, let's see, output beehive, tier 1, 2, 3, 4, apiary 1, apiary 2. And then we're also going to want to tell it how to make the apiary storage. This one is the important one. We will use normal chest, please. Thank you. And do we know how to make hoppers? Nope. So we should probably teach that as well. Super easy. And that can go into this one. And so presumably we can tell it to just make a tier 2 apiary. It's going to require a bunch of beeswax, a bunch of grass. Now that is the weird thing that we need. Do we have a good way of getting grass? And honestly, we don't need these anymore. So is there a good way? We can do botany pots. Okay, that will work. Now the question is, how do we want to set that up? For now, because what we'll probably end up doing is we'll have a farm area with a bunch of these guys hooked up to a just hooked up to drawers, and we can store all that stuff fairly easily. So we'll just switch those out and put that in there. Perfect. All right. So we're gonna want some grass to begin with, and a chest. Now, if we look at the uses, it will try to make tall grass as well, and then infused grass, grass blocks, enchanted soil, if we could get that. But it looks like we need some sort of grass block, or I think the golden grass would work as well. So we can just pick one of these up, put the dirt back where it was, and for right now we're just gonna set this here. We're gonna put the botany pot on top, golden grass, and grass. And we're just going to let that run. So that will get us to our kind of apiary stuff. What else did we need for the apiary? A lot of this stuff, we should be fine. We're going to need a ton of honeycomb blocks, beeswax blocks, and planks. That's mostly easy. We can just grab a bunch of oak logs, and there's all your planks. The beeswax, we can just take out a bunch of this, and that should be close, if not all we need for that kind of stuff. So can we make a tier 2 apiary? No, we're still missing honeycomb blocks, which is easy enough. Can we make at least the storage? We can. Cool. So each one requires a storage. That is something to kind of make note of. And this is quests in the bees. This is the last set of quests in the bees. This isn't going to complete until soon. We actually need another apiary storage if we could make one. Shouldn't be too difficult. And then we can turn this into a different thing with some flowers and some of these. Now I don't care too much. You know what? I have an extra beehive that we can throw in here to help things. And that is one thing, is as we make apiaries, we'll be able to get rid of old stuff. But that'll make the apiary breeder. Don't really care about that because we've got all the bees we need. For now anyways. So, at this point, I need to step away and gather up a bunch of things. Let's see if we can make an apiary tier 1. We're missing just honeycomb blocks. Okay. Well, the easiest ones to use are these. So let's just make a bunch of these guys. There's 2 stacks. And now, because we do want to make a tier 1 first, so that's going to jump right into action. At some point, we do need to make the crafting monitor, I think is the block. Let's see, how difficult is this to make? 2 patterns, a machine casing, improved processors. So let's get 2 of those. Steel, iron, and stone. 1, 2, 3, 4. And stone. I know I have 1 stone in my inventory, but that is not for using. That is for blood magic. We'll get to that soon enough. And steel. So maybe we can fix the recipe. We'll see. But we need to make the machine casing. So if I shift left click, it'll delete it. And then shift left click to save it. So we're going to want the crafting monitor. And I don't think it remembered the stone again. Doesn't seem to want to remember stone. That is strange. But we should be able to make the crafting monitor. We just need 2 patterns, which we'll just take out of here. And we can just put this here. That was a quest where there's other things to do, but this will tell us what we're crafting. But we have the apiary tier 1, and that's going to make a bunch of quests in the bees done. Can I get the breeder? There we go. So that is not really anything I care too much about, but no rewards, which is unfortunate. I wish this mod pack gave more rewards, but we should be able to make the tier 2 relatively soon. We just need another stack of grass. So I'll tell you guys what, I am going to step away. I'm going to get the will that we need for our sanguine reverter, and I'm going to go ahead and hopefully collect enough of the grass and deal with the honeycombs a little bit so that we can make our stuff that we need, the apiaries. So yeah, I'll be back once that is completed. So we have pretty much everything ready to go. So I guess let's start with blood magic. I do have all of the grass we need for the apiary tier 2, and it's just more of a decision of where to put it. But we can go ahead and, not alchemy table, we can go ahead and do a couple things. First of all, I did make enough buckets slash find enough buckets to get more runes of capacity. So we can do 3 more of these. And that will leave us at 5. Now the actual like numbers that they do are said in the book, but we're up to 2,000, so that's pretty good. We'll have to have plenty of things here soon enough for when we want to make the next blood orb. I had to think about what it was called for a second. And this is mostly keeping up. Yeah, it's draining a little bit of the blood into its internal capacity, but for the most part, we're good on that. So we can at least get the tier 4 blood orb, blood altar at this point. And that's going to require some shears, stone, iron, and imbued slate. And our will, which I have 378. It's only going to take out a little bit of that. What is it, 30? So, not a big deal. But that gives us the sanguine reverter, which we can then put into here. And the imbued slate will get reverted and hopefully either give us... it only gave us 1 weak blood shard. But that was a quest, and we need another imbued slate, I think. Yes, we do. I had to think about that one for a second. Apparently, I lost one somewhere. Or miscounted. Do we have any slates? Nope. Okay. Let's go ahead and tell this to make another apiary. The apiary tier 2. I thought I put all of the grass in there. Did it not? Okay, apparently we still need 18 more. So that'll have to wait for a little bit longer. But we should have the imbued slate. We can get another weak blood orb in here. Or weak blood shard. I keep mixing up words. And one of these we need to turn into bloodstone bricks. And I've got to make sure I know what specific type we need for our blood altar. So it requires bloodstone bricks and or large bloodstone bricks. So this is the large. Let's go with the smaller ones. I think these look better. And we just cap everything off like so. And I want to make sure that there's no dark spots. No. Okay. But this should be a tier 4 blood altar now. And it is. Cool. So we should be able to now make demonic slates, which is 15,000 blood. So let's go ahead and get just a normal imbued slate. We'll turn this back on and sacrifice. Oh my gosh, I really dislike the bats that fly out of here. It's fine. It's dead now. So we can make these. And with the imbued slate, we can make a new filter. Turn it on green. And once this has 15,000 blood in it, we can make the demonic slate. And that's pretty much all we have to do left. So if we look at the book, let's look at the book. I can click the right things. Let's see, blood magic. We have the weak blood shards. We just need a demonic slate and then a master blood orb. The master blood orb is 40,000 blood in this thing, with a weak blood shard being used as the quote-unquote catalyst. Interesting items we get. The Sword of Great Lengths, that gives us reach, which is kind of cool. But we should have... Okay, we have the 2,000. Let's go ahead and make the slate first. We'll put that in there. Do we have... not quite. I can always go get more grass, to be perfectly honest. One thing to note, the dry grass, was that a good thing to have? So, vivid grass, mutated grass is 15. Golden grass is not. Scorched grass is better. Infused grass is 15. So, let's break this. If we look at this in the botany pot, it's 0.5. However, we could come over here, and I guess we do need a piece of dirt. Unfortunately, we can't get the enchanted soil. That comes from this warped nylium. It's over here. The enchanted soil comes from, what is it? The overgrowth seeds, which are only found in dungeons and stuff like that. So it's a little bit more challenging to get. But if we look at this, it should be, yeah, 0.15, which is much better. So let's set this back up so that we have a little bit faster speeds. And probably between episodes, I'm going to start moving things over so that we can store everything in our system. We have our first demonic slate. Let's fill this up. And then we should be able to use the weak blood shard. We're going to turn this default onto green. So we go ahead and put that in there. This should be a fairly fast craft, so we do have to keep up with the blood. And hopefully things will keep coming down. No, it's reverting. This is going to be a bit of a challenge, so let's pick up the weak blood shard. We'll come back to that later. I'll fill that up, and if need be, I will step away and get more stuff. We need more iron, so I think once we have the apiary, let's go ahead and get that, and then we can get the iron. So we need 7 more grass. And what we're going to do is we're going to use this. We're going to collect the bees in here, which it looks like most of them are kind of chilling. And what we'll do is we'll have the apiaries here with the storage here. I think that will work just fine. Let's go look at our bee book, because I believe it talks about that. In the building, that's the breeder. Building an apiary can be placed anywhere part of the skeletal structure. It must be facing inside on one of the sides. But you can have multiple, so it's kind of nice. There is particle effects in there. Because what I'm probably going to want to do is get another 5 runes of capacity, and with that I should be able to get what I want in terms of all this stuff. So we need for those the demonic slates. These useful for much. There is this charging rune, which sounds kind of cool, and I think my game might crash. Nope. Okay. There is this charging rune that sounds kind of cool. That is once per 20 in-game ticks, which can be accelerated with the acceleration rune. It will siphon LP to charge an internal buffer, and maximum charge of the blood altar can hold is 1,000 per charging, which is then multiplied by capacity. So basically, we put a bunch of charging runes. We can then let it set with all this blood, and it will allow us to kind of do like a boost, which sounds kind of cool. We could do that for 1,000, but if we made 10 of the charging runes, or actually I don't even know, since we have 5 of those, maths, Maximum charge is, so that is going to be that is going to be pretty fast. Capacity of the main tank divided by 2,000 if that value is over 1. Okay, so it is, if we had a little bit more, we could do more. But we could charge this up and have a lot of stuff. But mostly we need more runes of capacity. So I'm going to need 5 more slates. We can turn imbued slates to blue. And we can do 1 at a time. And that will work just fine. So I will tell you guys what. Let's get this taken care of. We should be able to make a tier 2 apiary. Which, the cool thing with this is it is going to allow us, by the way, the crafting monitor that we made last time shows you what it's doing, which is kind of cool. But with the tier 2 apiary, this thing is really good. So it outputs 16 honeycombs and its modification time is 40%. So it's pretty quick. Now what we're going to do with this, so eventually we'll get to the tier 3. Tier 3 is a 45 time modification, but outputs 4 honeycomb blocks. And so what we need to do is we need to capture some bees. And then we're going to set up the apiary. I'm not like 100% sure how this works, but we'll figure it out. So just capture all these bees until there's no bees in here right now. And then eventually we could remove the hives because there's no reason to have those. So this has, I think, see, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, let's see, 3, 6, 9, 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. No bees, no bees. All right, perfect. So now what we can do is we can break this, and we can put apiary storage here and the apiary here. And I think, let's visualize. It needs to be offset 1 and then validate. Position X, this position, Y 72. Is it the trapdoors? So where is it looking? Oh, okay. We need to go this way. Validate. Okay, so it's 31, 32, 33 at 68. And 89. So those 3 blocks. Okay. So we should be able to break this, break the dispensers, and then we should be able to validate it. Oh, right, it can't be air blocks. So we're going to put it back to dirt. And in fact, we're just going to remove everything, basically. And we're just going to have apiaries. These are tier 4s, so it should be a little bit easier to get anything else. Now that's going to anger those guys, but we just don't go in there. We can remove these. And it is perfectly fine. So now, we have our storage. There's upgrades. I I don't think I have to have them in like individual stuff, but we need to have like a room. So I'll tell you guys what. Actually, we could just use that. What happens if I put all of these guys back in here? They're not mad at me because they didn't know that I broke their hives. But I don't think any of them can go into the hive. Now there's only one way into the hive. We can look at the storage. Okay, so there are bees. Cool. So we'll have a couple of apiaries for all of these guys, and hopefully that will work. Now this will eventually get stuff, and so we'll need to dig down here and hook it up to our transporters, which I realized all that stuff is probably making problems over here. Yes. So let's just grab all this stuff. Trapdoors too. And we get some advanced logistical transporters. We should be able to pretty easily start replacing both apiaries on a single place with just basically replace the beehives with our apiaries. And that would make things a little bit more efficient. We don't have to worry about dropping things. We don't need to worry about the advanced item collectors because we've already got so many. Wow. And we just put that like so, and it works just fine. So if we get one more apiary, which we could probably get at least a tier 1, things are going to be easier. But eventually we're going to want top tier stuff and all that kind of stuff. So how difficult would it be to get just one tier 1? We literally just need some grass and some other stuff. So how bad is it for a tier 2? See if we can't get both of those replaced today. So we need a bunch of honey blocks. That is a problem that we're going to have to overcome because we are storing liquid honey, but to get honey blocks we need a solidification chamber. And I think that's how we're going to have to do things. So we just put a solidification chamber in this area somewhere, and that should work. We just feed it sticks and power, and it should be fine. So let me break that. We could put an importer for sticks, and then basic mechanical pipe, and it also needs, I think it needs power. Let's see, basic mechanical pipe. It probably can't live there, but we could potentially move it over one. We could move it over one, and then we can get power out the back. Okay, let's do it that way. So solidification chamber, like so. Unless there is another place we can get power, because then we can configure items to be pulled out. That shouldn't affect the sticks. Now, let's pop up. This is horribly, horribly done, but if it works, it works. Who cares, you know? It's really all that matters. And let's configure that to not, and it has to be all of, actually it might not need to. Let's go ahead and put one of these guys back and get some universal cables. I think we just have basics back there. But all of this is just so that we can get some more iron. And let's just pop outside. That was weird. I tried to shift click, and it did not like it did not like me doing that. All right, so does that work even if the sticks are? Yes, it does. Maybe. I took the sticks out. No, the sticks have to be all there. So, what I'm gonna do is I am going to get things ready for more capacity. That's why I did the apiary, to get more iron. And we'll come back once I'm ready to get the last blood magic. So be right back. So the apiaries are doing really, really, really well. We have so much stuff now. Specifically iron. We're getting so much iron now. It's already up to 112. And that's after I've made 15 more buckets, because we are going to upgrade to the capacity, more capacity, and that is hopefully going to be everything we need at this point. Oh, right, I need the immune slates, which I did make them. I just didn't grab them. They're over here. And hopefully we can then make the blood orb and be done with blood magic for the foreseeable future, to be perfectly honest. And kind of continue on from there. So we have 2,000, I do believe. Let's just double check. It is... Oh, right, it's broken. I believe it's 2,000 is what we had, or 20,000 rather. So if we add these in, we should have 30,000. Yes. And we lost a lot of blood, unfortunately, so we're going to have to kill these things. And also, unfortunately, we got a sniper's crossbow. Cool. This is filling up very quickly. Always not a good time. But yeah, we have 30,000 blood that we can store now, which means we should be able to get what we need pretty easily. So that's going to fill up the internal buffer. Hey, we got a piece of iron. A little late. Ironclad iron chestplate of tenacity. Gives you max health. Cool. There's a lot of these rare items, which are kind of neat. Some of them are kind of boring, but something I've been doing is cleaning up the inventory, throwing bows off of the edge, and just kind of trying my best to clean that chest up. It's still not enough. We produce too much stuff from it. But let's go ahead and get rid of all that stuff. I am producing honey down here. And we'll see. C43. That should be, there we go, good enough. Things are doing well. That's all I can really say. But once we have enough things in here, we should be good to try this again. So we put our weak blood shard in here, and then kill things when this drops pretty low. And we should be able to kill things fast enough to keep the blood flowing. And it's just a matter of, do we have enough this time? It's, yes, barely. We got there in the end. So we can get the Master Blood Orb and complete the chapter, Blood Magic. And might as well, you know, put that to our, bind that to us, and we can put that away. And at this point, we can turn that off. I did accidentally, during the course of doing stuff with Blood Magic, complete another quest. But Blood Magic is completed. That is awesome. I don't believe there's any rewards, which is kind of boring, but whatever. I did complete the creeper task, and we should be able to... Alright, this sword... Yeah, no, it has sweeping edge. We should be able to kill everything in here, and maybe complete other quests, but so far, not really. We got a... Ooh, Berserker's Netherite Axe. That's really cool. We can get more experience, we can kill bats. All things considered, blood magic is done. I don't know that we'll have to do too much more with that at all. We might choose to, but at this point, I think it's a good wrapping up point for the episode. I need to get a lot of grass, and I need to start looking at making a little bit more farming type stuff, and maybe we'll do that here. Send things over or use a cable, hook it up to our refined storage system, and at this point I think you guys know how to set up the apiaries. It is a little bit weird, but they also can't go into here at night, but they do produce honey pretty regularly. They have a hive to go to, I think, so they shouldn't despawn or anything. And all things considered, I just need to get more apiaries, and so that will be kind of my plan, is just start working on getting more tier 2s, and we're going to stop at tier 2s for now. Now later on we'll want to get tier 3s and so forth and so on, but for now tier 2s will be good enough. And I think what we'll do next time, maybe we'll finally break this thing down, and this is going to be where we farm all of the crops and stuff. Alternatively, now that we have at least iron coming in, maybe we look at upgrading extended crafting, and at the very least, unlock the creative tab, which requires the quantum compressor, which is pretty easy to make. We just need to get a bunch of black iron, and then we also need to get all the advanced auto crafting tables. But I don't know that there's too many things that we need to do, and like for the most part we're gonna need the ultimate singularities. That's kind of the big thing, but we can get so much good stuff with this, and the singularities are gonna be awful to get, but we'll get there. So that is in game. We're not quite there yet, so I don't know for sure what we'll do next time. Something else that we can do, if we want the overgrowth seeds, which are pretty good, there is the lunium flower, which is very expensive to make. Requires 3 high tier runes, pixie dust, but this thing produces dungeon loot randomly, so it's pretty good. Will we go after that? I don't know. Will we do maybe the Botania tab next? I mean, most of this stuff, all the chest plates and all that kind of stuff, we should be able to make the basic ones. It's just the Terra Steel that's going to be a little bit more challenging because it does require runes. But we do need to fight the Gaia Guardian, and that's kind of the big thing with that, and I'm not quite ready to do that. So we'll figure out what we do next time. I'm not entirely sure right now. But I'm going to continue working with bees, getting more apiaries, and we'll go from there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!